Hey everyone, Mr. Rob here. This is a video I've been procrastinating about for a little while to make, and I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna go through all my favorite exercises for bulletproofing my knees. My knees are in a far better position right now than they ever were when I was an actual professional dancer. And thanks to all these exercises, I'm teaching and enjoying and have had very little discomfort in my knees for quite some time. I'm going to go through the simplest versions up to the most advanced versions for you, so you have goals to get through. But please take your time with these exercises. They do not need to be done every day. They do not need to be done even 3 times a week. Sometimes even once a week is enough, and slowly building up. Now, the first thing you need to think about is how we warm up the knees. When I'm at the gym, the first thing I will normally do is get on the treadmill, and I will turn or not even turn the treadmill on, and I will push my back up against the front of the treadmill, and I will push the treadmill away, walking backwards on the treadmill. It's quite difficult. Give yourself 15 minutes of doing that, and that's a really great workout and a really great way to start warming up the knees and building up the strength in the tendons and not just the muscles of the knees. So then from there, I would often come away from the machine and I would come down to a mat. If you're not at the gym and you're at the studio like I am today, you could just spend some time going from here and we'll go on from there. So I would often start with the foam roller underneath my glutes, just like this. And you have a little bit of a stretch and a massage at the same time. You can rock around. I'm getting a little bit of massage on my calves. I'm getting massage in my hamstrings, and I can move it in different places. Just take my time, focus on relaxing and breathing into the stretch and massage, and move it right up underneath the knees. You can press it in. You could also switch it if you want to take it that little bit further to one at a time and then press around with the roller. Great calf and Achilles massage here. Make sure you get the other side too. So you've got both. Then from there, taking the foam roller away, sitting down on your heels. Now, this wasn't something that was available to me when I was dancing heavily classically. I was doing so much jumping that my quadriceps were very tight. All my flexibility that I've created in my career, I've worked very hard on. And that was something that actually, even to this day, I still struggle with tight quads. This is something that now is available to me. If it is not available to you, as you saw, foam roller. Underneath, build the flexibility up. You could switch to then a thinner foam roller as you get closer and closer down, or some blocks, and just slowly letting yourself sit down. Now remember, make sure your knees are nice and warm before you do any of this stretching. Then the next thing that I did when I was building up the flexibility in my knees was simply practicing just squatting down into this position. So staying here and then trying to just come down and come up. Once again, if this isn't available to you, you can put the foam roller underneath. Again here, so you only squat down this much, but you're also strengthening and already activating those knees and the tendons around the knees to begin that bulletproofing as you go. And then you get further and further till eventually you're able to lower all the way down. Now, this may take a couple of months to get here, but be patient with your body, be kind to your body, and slowly build that flexibility up. And then, as you see, you've got flexibility as the ability to go that far, and then the range of motion or the mobility is when you can actually use that flexibility that you've gained. And then another one I like to do is come onto the toes. I don't have super flexible toe joints here. I don't have the ability to put my knees on the floor and my metatarsals be flat on the floor. So I like to do a little bit of rocking backwards and forwards on my toes here to warm them up, and also warming up the knees. When I do a lot of yoga, I do this one for my wrists as well. Great for the shoulders as well. Just getting everything warm, rocking backwards and forwards. Now, squatting is something that is really powerful, especially for dancers, to get the knees and hips flexible. Again, if it's not fully available to you, I don't want you going straight into a full squat. It's something you may start with your running shoes on to give you a little bit of a lift. Another option would be to get something to put your heels on. For example, these weights that I have here. You can use anything. Put your heels on and then squat down. Right, that's now nice and easy for me, but again, we're getting that compression of the knees, and we're also getting the compression of the hips and the lengthening of the back. This is a really great position to practice. And then from there, you can slowly reduce that length or that lift on the heels so you get further down. Please make sure that your toes are as much as possible in line with your knees. If you're like this in the squat and your feet are pointing to the side when your knees are facing forward, this is a no-no. Yeah, I want you to try to get that as parallel as possible, or as in line with underneath the knees as possible. So here is good. Even here is better. Heels off the floor, moving around, building that flexibility up. And then the next step would be slowly coming out of here. So coming out and then coming down. Coming out and coming down. Very simply, just squatting down as far as you can and stretching. Again, if this isn't fully available to you, propping up your heels. And another option would be taking a weight in front of you to help keep your weight forward and holding onto it so that it helps you get down into that squat until you have that flexibility in the hips. 10 of these is a great way, either with a weight in front of you, or when I'm at the gym or in the studio these days, I love to do this one and just try and reach up as far as I can as I do the work. Great for the hips, great for the ankles, amazing for the knees. So our knees are nice and warm now. We're going to move over to strengthening from the bottom up. The shins are really important. Those who are having issues with your shins, if it's shin splints and things, it's often the case that the muscle on the side here, I'm not going to use terminology today, I'm going to keep it really simple. The muscles on the side of the shin are weak. And that, every time you go down, you're overworking this shin muscle. So we need to strengthen the shin muscle. And in ballet, because we're always going through the feet first, often the shin doesn't get used as much. So all you have to do, you put your back up against the bar or back up against the wall, lift your feet up nice and high, and you're just going to slap the floor. We're going to do 3 rounds of 10, and this is really powerful. This is quite torturous, but really powerful. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then lift them up. 3 rounds of that is really powerful. The further away you are from the wall, the harder it's going to be. I've got just the bar here, so it's a bit difficult to lean on, but make sure you're leaning on it. And 3 times 10, really nice. See if you can really get a slap on the floor there, and you feel a real burn in your shins. This is going to build up your shins and already start to protect your knees that little bit more. We then move on to some other ones. Now we've got my favorite, which has taken me a long time to build up to the full advanced version of this, which is called the split squat. Now the split squat, we can take very easy in the beginning, and this is even the way I started. Grab a chair at home. You're going to place it in front of you so you've got the edge to hold onto. You're going to come up, foot on the chair, back leg parallel, try and keep the back knee straight, using the chair. Again, you come down only as far as you can take. If this is it, that's fine, come back. Again, we're already building the strength in the knee. We're even building a little bit of flexibility in the back calf, hip flexor here in the front of the hips, and maybe a little bit of hamstring in the front here. And then as you get further, you can take it a little bit further. Generally, my rule is that I keep for myself, it's 5 times of each exercise to the point before you feel any pain. Right? I don't want any pain happening. Discomfort and learning where it goes from discomfort to pain is relative to oneself, and you need to spend time learning what that is. But please take your time. So if this was my maximum range of motion, then pull back a little bit and don't go to your maximum. Just pull back, build strength, build flexibility. And then as you get further, every couple of weeks, you'll find you can go that little bit further. Or maybe the second week, you find you actually can go less because the body is healing from the work that you've done the week before. Don't be afraid. Take it easy. So we can get to here. Once you've got to here, you notice that my heel's coming off the chair here. This is the same concept as a grand plie in ballet. You are not lifting the heel off the floor or the chair. You are trying to keep the heel down. And as the knee tracks over the toes and over the ankle, the heel picks up because of your amount of flexibility. So you're coming forwards, trying to keep the heel down, the heel comes off, and then to come back, I don't want you to think of pushing with your quad. I want you to first think about pulling the heel down to the chair. And when you pull the heel down to the chair, just like when coming out of a grand plie, you return a bit. And then the next part, when you come out of it, instead of pushing with the quad again, think of using that hamstring muscle to pull yourself out. So again, taking the pressure off the knee. So you could do 5 times. Take your time all the way down. I'm even getting a nice little hip flexor stretch here today. Yeah, 5 times. You can use the chair to help you balance if it's an issue. Then progression from this could be moving the chair away. And I've got this bench here. Ideally a bench that's maybe a little bit lower, so you're lowering the height as you go. You can do it next to the bar or next to in the kitchen or somewhere at the gym where you've got something to hold on to. And you're doing the same thing, practicing going down and coming up, back foot parallel, back knee straight, lengthening up through the body as much as possible. As always, in anything, checking in with your posture. The chest is relaxed down, the shoulders are nice and open, the abdominals are lifted. So I don't want to see this, yeah, or this. Lengthening up through the spine and coming back. All right, so 5 times. Then you can also try for your balance. It's great without the bar, without the back of the chair, practicing the balance. You could put your arms out to the side. Remember to pull the heel down to return and use the hamstrings to return to the starting position. Then from there, this can get lower and lower. And eventually, you can get to the full range of motion. So the full range of the split squat, you will have to play around with the distance here. You'll notice as I do this, I will adjust my back foot and I will adjust my front foot to make sure the distance is right for me today. So for me, I think this is right. I'm gonna come down. No, it doesn't feel right. I'm gonna shuffle that foot back a little bit further. Again, we're going to go all the way down. Hands on hips for me, lengthening the front of the body. So we're picking up and then we're going to come down. I'm going to shuffle back even more so I got that length right. And here we go. The knee goes over the toe. real big stretch in the hip flexor. And then again, heel pulls down, hamstring pulls to return. You can do 5 of these. Again, you can always use the bar initially until you find that balance in the work. Then from here, to take it that extra bit further and also to build your strength and flexibility, you can grab some weights. So some weights, same position. Stretch the front knee initially, both legs straight. From here, coming down, the heel is staying down for as long as possible. It comes up only because of flexibility. And then pull your heel down to return, and hamstring pulls to come back to the beginning. All the way down once again, heel stays down, heel comes off only because it has to. Heel pulls down to come up, and hamstring contracts to return. 5 on each side I would normally do, building the weights slowly. It does take a little bit of time. It is building not only your flexibility, but your range of motion, which is flexibility, and your mobility, so your ability to use the maximum of your flexibility. And then you're also building, when you're not using a bar or the back of a chair, your balance. So these are the main exercises. There are a couple of extra ones that I want to show you now that can also help, that I do as well. Simply coming down to the knees. Here, lengthen the front of the hips. You can cross your hands over your chest. And I'm going to go on an angle for you here. And you're just tilting backwards and coming forwards. It does not need to be much to be very powerful. Tilting backwards and coming forwards. Even just this much is amazing for you to do. If you're wanting to take it a little bit further, for example, this is one that I'm building at the moment. The goal is to get much further back. You can start with something behind your back, so you can push yourself out. So you're here, and you can lean back, see how far you can go, and then use it to help you back up. A little bit of help. And then eventually, when you have the confidence in your knees, taking the hands away. I'm hoping to progress this further and further over the next months, but I'm taking my time. The key to a lot of progress on the body, especially as adults, is more about you can only train as hard as you recover. So please, recover hard, people, so you can enjoy your next training session, and then you can join me back at the bar. Thanks, everyone.